If you think Hollywood stars are all about the big screen, you better think again. That's because actors Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, who are joint owners of the Wrexham Football Club, have made plans to renovate the club's stadium and turn it into a footballing fortress. But does Wrexham have the kind of money needed for such a colossal project? And why is this renovation even necessary in the first place? There's a lot to break down, but first, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The real reason Wrexham Stadium needs a makeover. So why is Wrexham renovating the old stadium? Well, first of all, the club isn't the same underdog that it used to be. Wrexham AFC has gone from being a struggling lower league side to a team with serious ambitions. Since Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney took over, Wrexham has been on a meteoric rise, earning back-to-back promotions and setting their sights on even bigger goals. Of course, the dream is to one day reach the Championship and then the Premier League, and they need a stadium that reflects that ambition. And right now, the old Racecourse Ground just isn't cutting it. One of the biggest issues is capacity. The Racecourse Ground, while historic and full of character, doesn't have enough seats to accommodate the club's rapidly growing fan base. With Wrexham's success, ticket demand has skyrocketed. Every home game is packed, and fans struggle to get tickets. The stadium currently holds around 10,000 fans, which is fine for a mid-table League Two club, but for a team climbing the ranks with global attention, it's way too small, and expansion is the only logical step. Then there's the Cop Stand, or what's left of it. This was once the heartbeat of the stadium, being home to Wrexham's most passionate supporters. But it's been closed for over a decade due to safety concerns, leaving a massive gap in the stadium both physically and atmospherically. Without the Cop, the Racecourse Ground just doesn't feel complete, and bringing it back to life is a must, not just for nostalgia, but to restore the club's home advantage. A renovated Cop Stand will give fans a proper place to generate noise and energy, making the Racecourse Ground an even more intimidating place for opponents. The stadium also needs upgrades to keep up with modern football standards. While Wrexham is one of the oldest football clubs in the world, their facilities don't match the modern era. The club is attracting high-profile players and bigger crowds, but the Racecourse Ground still has outdated infrastructure, limited hospitality options, and a lack of modern amenities that fans and players now expect. From upgraded seating to better concourses and improved matchday experiences, these changes will ensure that Wrexham isn't just playing in a bigger stadium, but a better one. And then there's the big one. Wrexham is set to host matches for the UEFA European Under-19 Championships in 2026. That is huge, so the club isn't just renovating for its own future, it's also preparing to welcome top young talents from across Europe. But UEFA has strict requirements for stadiums hosting international tournaments, and right now the Racecourse Ground does not meet those standards. So if Wrexham wants to be part of a tournament and put their stadium on the map as a venue for future events, the renovations are a must. At its core, this renovation is about more than just adding seats or fixing an old stand. It's about securing Wrexham's future as a serious football club. The club's rise is not slowing down, and the Racecourse Ground needs to evolve with it. There's more fans, bigger games, and growing global attention, and it calls for a stadium that can keep up. How much will this cost, and who's paying? Of course, a stadium renovation of this scale will cost a lot of money, but how much exactly? Well, according to estimates, it's set to cost around $112 million. That is a hefty price tag, but given the scope of the project, it makes sense. Modernizing a stadium isn't just about slapping on a fresh coat of paint and installing new seats. It's about upgrading infrastructure, enhancing fan experience, and making sure the venue stays competitive with the best in the country. And in today's world where stadiums are more than just sports venues, but full-on entertainment hubs, $112 million is actually on the lower end compared to other recent stadium renovations. Now, the big question is, who's footing the bill? Well, it's a combination of private investors, corporate sponsors, and possibly some public funding. The majority of the funding is expected to come from the stadium's ownership group, which is committed to covering a big chunk of the cost. These are the people who have the most to gain from the upgrades, whether it's increased ticket sales, more high-profile events, or just boosting the overall value of the venue. In addition to that, corporate sponsorships are playing a huge role. Big brands want their names associated with modern state-of-the-art stadiums, so securing lucrative sponsorship deals is a key part of the fundraising strategy. Whether it's naming rights for different sections of the stadium, premium suites, or even branding on things like concession stands and scoreboards, there are plenty of ways to bring in corporate dollars. But that's not all. There's also potential for public funding, although this is always a bit more complicated. Sometimes local governments help finance stadium renovations, especially if the venue is expected to generate economic benefits for the city in terms of increased tourism and job creation. However, public funding for stadiums is always a controversial topic, with some people arguing that taxpayer money should to go to schools, infrastructure, or other public services instead. Whether or not public funds end up getting used for this particular renovation remains to be seen, but it's definitely a conversation happening behind the scenes. Aside from these major funding sources, there's also some creative ways the money is being raised. One strategy that's gaining popularity is selling premium seating packages well in advance. Essentially, fans or businesses can purchase multi-year licenses for premium seats, luxury boxes, or VIP experiences before the renovations are even finished. This upfront cash injection helps cover costs while also ensuring there's immediate demand for the upgraded sections of the stadium. Now, another key source of funding is merchandising and special events. Limited edition memorabilia tied to the stadium's renovation, like commemorative plaques, jerseys, or even pieces of the old stadium seats, can be sold to diehards who want to own a piece of history. Additionally, hosting exclusive fundraising events such as gala dinners, meet and greets with athletes, or even behind-the-scene construction tours can bring in extra cash while keeping the excitement alive among fans and investors alike. All in all, while $112 million is no small amount, the money is being raised strategically through a mix of private investment, sponsorship deals, potential public funding, premium seating sales, and creative fundraising efforts. It's a massive financial undertaking, but if all goes according to plan, the newly renovated stadium is going to be well worth the investment. Features of the new Cobb Stadium. The new Cobb stand is set to be a game changer. Designed by Populous, the same architectural powerhouse behind Tottenham Hotspur's cutting-edge stadium, this stand isn't just about increasing capacity, it's about revolutionizing the matchday experience. The renovation will bring even more energy to the stadium, but the real magic lies in the design. The stand's roof has been engineered to direct crowd noise straight onto the pitch, meaning every chant, cheer, and roar from Wrexham's passionate supporters will echo even louder. If you thought the Racecourse Ground had an intimidating atmosphere before, just wait till the new stand's packed to the brim. Visiting teams better be ready for a wall of sound unlike anything they've faced before. But the upgrades don't stop at the fans because players are getting a serious boost too. One of the standout features is a brand new tunnel that gives supporters a unique view of the team as they walk onto the pitch. Imagine the buzz of seeing your favorite players up close right before kickoff. It's the kind of behind-the-scenes access that makes matchday even more special. The players will also benefit from upgraded dressing rooms, top-tier training facilities, and improved recovery areas, ensuring that they have everything they need to perform at their peak. Accessibility has been another key focus of the renovation. The new Cobb stand will include vastly improved facilities for disabled fans, ensuring that every supporter can enjoy the game comfortably. Wider concourses, designated seating areas with better sightlines, and enhanced access points means that more people than ever will get to experience the electric atmosphere of a Wrexham home game. This commitment to inclusivity isn't just a nice touch, it's a crucial step in making football more welcoming for everyone. For those who prefer a bit of luxury with their football, the hospitality areas are getting a massive upgrade. Premium lounges, VIP boxes, and new hospitality suites will offer a more refined matchday experience, complete with top-quality food, drinks, and unbeatable views of the action. Whether you're a business exec looking to entertain clients or just a fan who wants to experience a game in style, these new spaces will provide the perfect seating. And then there's the Hall of Fame. Wrexham's rich history deserves to be celebrated, and the new stadium will do just that. This dedicated area will honor the club's legends past and present with memorabilia, interactive exhibits, and tributes to iconic moments in the team's journey. It's not just about looking back, though. It's about inspiring future generations of players and fans by showcasing the club's legacy. Looking even further ahead, the club has ambitious long-term plans that could take the stadium to a whole new level. The goal is to expand the entire Racecourse Ground to a jaw-dropping 55,000 seats. That would make it one of the biggest stadiums in the country, putting Wrexham on the map in a way that was unimaginable just a few years back. But while this expansion won't happen overnight, the vision is clear. Wrexham isn't just aiming for success on the pitch. They're building an infrastructure that can support the club's meteoric rise for years to come. So, from a roaring new Cobb stand to state-of-the-art player facilities, better accessibility, and potential stadium expansion that could shake up the footballing landscape, the Racecourse Ground is evolving into something truly special. The best part? This is just the beginning. How the renovated stadium will compare to Premier League stadiums. So, what if Wrexham eventually makes it to the Premier League? How will their newly renovated stadium compare to the likes of Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, and Anfield? Well, with a capacity of 55,000 seats after the renovation, Wrexham Stadium would actually be one of the biggest in the league. That's a huge jump from where they are now, and it would put them in the same conversation as some of England's most historic football grounds. For comparison, Manchester United's Old Trafford, the largest club stadium in the Premier League, holds around 74,000. Wembley aside, it's the biggest and most famous stadium in English club football, so Wrexham wouldn't quite match that, but they wouldn't be too far off. Then there's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, a modern masterpiece with a capacity of 62,000, packed with high-tech features and multi-use capabilities. Again, Wrexham would be slightly smaller, but still bigger than most. Now, let's look at some other legendary stadiums. Liverpool's Anfield, one of the most iconic venues in world football, has a capacity of about 61,000 after recent expansions. Chelsea's Stamford Bridge, on the other hand, is surprisingly small for a club of their stature, holding just over 40,000. That means Wrexham's renovated stadium would actually be bigger than Chelsea's home ground, which is pretty wild to think about. They'd also match up with other famous venues like Arsenal's Emirates Stadium, which seats around 60,000, and Manchester City Stadium, which seats around 53,000. Of course, size isn't everything. The Premier League's top stadiums have world-class facilities, high-end hospitality suites, and modern fan experiences that go way beyond just the number of seats. But if Wrexham's ownership is putting in the money to expand to 55,000, you can bet that they're also investing in upgrades that'll make the stadium a serious contender in terms of atmosphere, comfort, and matchday experience. So, while Wrexham wouldn't have the biggest stadium in the league, they'd have a seriously competitive one. Bigger than several current top-flight clubs and right in the mix is some of England's most famous football cathedrals. Not bad for a team playing non-league football just a couple years ago, right? Challenges and struggles with the renovation. Now, you'd think with Hollywood money behind it, this project would be smooth sailing, but Wrexham has faced a series of challenges. The biggest hurdle has been the planning process. As co-owner Rob McElhenney jokingly pointed out, UK building regs can be painfully slow. The club has to deal with bureaucratic red tape, funding rejections, and multiple planning revisions. Anyone who's ever tried to get a simple home renovation approved knows how frustrating paperwork can be. Now imagine that on the scale of a stadium. Every aspect of the plan had to be reviewed, revised, and approved, often with unexpected delays. Even small changes like adding an extra entrance or adjusting seating arrangements required additional permissions, which meant more waiting. In 2023, the club installed a temporary stand to accommodate more fans, but even that came with issues. Ticket prices had to be adjusted, permissions had to be secured, and costs ended up being higher than expected. The idea was to give more fans access to matches while the larger renovation plans were being finalized. But in practice, it turned into another logistical headache. Safety inspections took longer than expected, meaning the stand couldn't be used right away. Then, once it was finally open, complaints rolled in about pricing. Of course, balancing affordability with the financial realities of stadium construction is never easy, and Wrexham found itself in a tough position, trying to keep fans happy while ensuring that the renovation remained financially viable. Then, last year, just when it seemed like work was ready to begin, new architects were brought in to create a more ambitious design. While this will lead to a better final product, it meant more delays. The original plans were already solid, but with Wrexham's growing popularity and increased interest from sponsors, the club decided to go even bigger. That meant going back to the drawing board to rework designs, which unsurprisingly set the timeline back even further. Construction projects to this scale rarely stay on schedule, and Wrexham's was no exception. More ambitious plans meant more approvals, more consultations, and of course, more money. Now, another challenge was weather. You can plan everything down to the last detail, but you can't control the elements. Wet conditions and unpredictable UK winters have already caused minor disruptions, making certain construction tasks harder to complete on schedule. Heavy rainfall can delay concrete pouring, wind can make it unsafe to operate cranes, and cold temps can slow down everything from drying times to worker efficiency. When you're on a tight timeline, even a few unexpected rainy days can throw off the whole schedule. Supply chain issues have also added to the struggles. Since the pandemic, the construction industry has faced shortages in key materials from steel beams to specialized seating. Prices for these materials have fluctuated, making it difficult to stick to a fixed budget. Certain items that were expected to arrive on time have been delayed due to shipping issues, forcing the team to either find alternative suppliers or adjust their construction timeline. And of course, every delay adds to costs, creating more financial pressure. But despite these challenges, the club remains committed to seeing the renovation through. There have been moments of frustration, setbacks that tested patience, and unexpected hurdles that required quick problem solving. But in the end, everyone involved, from the owners to the fans, knows that a little extra waiting will be worth it. When will it be ready? The good news is, after years of setbacks, Wrexham Stadium renovations are finally on track. The construction crews have been working tirelessly, and fans passing by the Racecourse Ground can already see the transformation taking shape. The long-awaited redevelopment of the historic stadium is no longer just an idea on paper, it's happening in real time. According to reports, the renovation should be completed just in time for the 2026 UEFA European Under-19 tournament. But right now, the most exciting part of the project is the construction of the brand new cop stand, which is set to be the crown jewel of the renovation. The old crumbling stand has already been completely demolished, making way for a new state-of-the-art replacement that'll not only provide thousands of extra seats, but also enhance the matchday experience with modern facilities. Steel framework is being erected as we speak, gradually shaping the outline of what will be one of the most impressive stands in the league. With heavy machinery on site and construction crews working around the clock, the foundation has already been laid and the structural work is well underway. Cement mixers, scaffolding, and towering cranes have become familiar sights at the Racecourse Ground as workers push forward with laying the concrete, installing steel beams, and assembling the framework for seating. So, from a struggling club with an aging stadium to a global football sensation with a high-tech arena in the making, Wrexham's transformation is nothing short of amazing. Reynolds and McElhenney have proven they're not just here for the cameras. They're building something truly special that's going to last for generations. So, what do you think? Will Wrexham Stadium innovations help them reach the Premier League? Let us know down there in the comments. We are committed to releasing 2 videos every week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more videos on visionary builds. Thanks for watching.